Newton's Newton's second law is what we're going to do now. We're going to get all the lab data for it. I will give you that in a little while, but first I just want to show you the setup. Here is our cart down here. We got a string. We can measure out the distance that the cart is traveling. And then down here is our pulley. And then we add washers down here, and the washers will be pulled down by gravity. And that will make the cart accelerate across the top of the table. So let's just get a good idea. Oh, and we have different amounts of masses. So we'll have an empty cart. Here's our 200 gram mass. Here's our 500 gram mass. I'm just going to give you an idea of what happens when I change the amount of pulling force. So I'm just going to show you, and we'll get the numbers later. So here is 1 washer, 2 washers, and 3 washers. And I just want you to see what happens when we go from 1 to 2 to 3 washers. And I will get the string taut, and then just let it go. And there's our 1 washer trial. Now we'll go back. We will do 2 washers. And now we will do 3 washers. And as you can see, when you add more pulling force, there's more acceleration of the cart. And that's what this lab is all about. It's all about the acceleration. Now let's just see what happens when I do 2 washers. That's going to be our constant. We'll have a same amount of force in each case, and we'll vary the mass. And we'll see what happens when we add more mass. We'll see what happens to the acceleration. So first of all, there's no mass in the cart, and we've got 2 washers, and so we'll just observe again. That goes pretty fast. And now I'll add the 200 gram mass. It did not appear to be as fast to me. And now we will do the 500 gram mass. And just for fun, let's try doing 700 grams of mass. And we'll see if it gets even slower, because I'm noticing that the acceleration is decreasing. And there it is, really, really slow acceleration. All right, so that's what the lab looked like. Now, I'm going to give you some data, but let me do a little pause here. Actually, wait, I can go right into it by doing that. Okay, so here's our data. So hopefully you've got your data table in front of you. I'm picking up my data. I'm grabbing a stool so I can sit down. So the distance of our string in meters is going to be 0.50 meters. And now the only data that we really need to get would be our time data. And I want to have this read. I don't know why. Okay, so now for 1 washer and 0 grams, our time is 1.4 seconds. When we add 200 grams of mass, you can see that we have lower acceleration. And that's what's going to happen. So it's a longer time, so the acceleration is going to be lowered. And then we get 4.7. Oh my, that's very slow. Now when we go 2 washers, we get a time of 1.0 seconds for 0 grams in the cart. If we add 200 grams, the time becomes 1.2 seconds. That doesn't slow down that much. But then when you go to 500, it decreases a lot, down to 2.0 seconds. Now let's look at the data when we when we have 3 washers, when we have full amount of force. 0.7 seconds for 0 grams in the cart. That's moving fast. 1.0 seconds when we have 200 grams, and finally 1.4 seconds when we have 500 grams of mass. So now all you have to do is calculate final velocity, and you are given instructions right up here how to calculate final velocity. That's step 7. And then step 8 tells you how to calculate the acceleration. And then the rest of it is just answering the questions. So there's just 4 simple analysis questions. You do have to show a little work down here, but I think you are now all good to go in terms of getting data and getting going on the lab. Excuse me. And there we go. So I will see you later.